And we are live. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing this evening? I can't even see how many people are in the chat. So go ahead and chime up if you're here. I know Lawrence is here. He got here early. Thank you, Lawrence. Tonight we are talking. Oh, Angry Floki. Hello, hello. How are you? Good to see you. Liked and shared. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So tonight we are talking about um, victimhood versus victory, and this is something that's really hard for a lot of people because they don't like to admit that they're acting like a victim, and it's a lot of personal responsibility, which is hard. Which is hard. So hey, Logic Rex. So I've got this article here that I pulled up, um, talking about. Here we go. No, that's not the page. Oh, did I had it a second ago. Let me see if it's in my email. Yeah, victim mentality. 16 signs and tips on how to deal with it. This is from Healthline. So, accept cookies. All right. So the victim mentality rests on three key beliefs. Bad things happen and will keep happening, which of course is true. That's kind of life. Other people or circumstances are to blame, and any efforts to create change will fail, so there's no point in trying. And this is a big problem that we see with the left. The system is against me. There's no way that I can, do things out of my own agency. Everybody else is to blame. It's not my fault. It's what they did. And so, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to take a personal and moral inventory to really see what we have going for us, what our liabilities are, what our assets are, and those are things that we have in our power that we can use to create a better life. So, one of the things that you can do is you make a list of all the things that are bothering you, things that make you angry, things that make you afraid, things that behaviors that end up with negative results, that kind of thing. So any patterns of behavior that you know that you have, when I do this, this bad thing happens, and you just take stock of all of that. You write it all down. Like when I did it, my list of resentments actually wasn't very long. There are a few people, places, and things that I was resentful about, but I had pages and pages and pages of fears. And when you can then take that to another person, and go through this and say, okay, where am I screwing up? Where is this my fault? Things like that. And when I had my pages and pages and pages of fears, my sponsor looked at me and she said, "You know what all of that is? I mean, it was like 8 pages of fears." She said, "They all boil down to one thing." I was like, "What's that?" She's like, "People pleasing." So, you know, I would, I was afraid of people getting angry at me. I was afraid of, um, doing the wrong thing in various situations like that. And it all came down to I wanted to make other people happy. And that may be one of the things that we need to let go. Um, you know, we can't make other people happy. Other people's emotions, other people's reactions, things like that aren't always in our control. Um, and so it's useful to write all this stuff down. Um, Like one of the things that I know that's a liability in my life right now is that I weigh too much. Oh, hey, Samantha P. Welcome, welcome. um, I know I need to lose weight. I gained a lot of weight under COVID. I was actually, a year ago this time, I was underweight. And so I got into some really bad habits when it comes to eating. And I need to change that. That's one of my liabilities right now. So, what am I doing to fix that? I'm walking twice a day, and I'm also watching my calorie intake. One of the big things that I'm doing right now that we've got my pain under control finally is I'm stopping drinking. That was when my pain was extreme, when I had burning feet and couldn't walk to the bathroom. A shot of bourbon did me, and I was able to walk and do things, clean my house, that sort of thing. But now that I've got pain pills, it's a liability, so I got to let it go. I know that I need to clean my house more, and that's one way to get exercise is to keep up with my house. And I just say, okay, I'm going to do this one thing, and I make a game out of it. That's one way to deal with really really troubling things is to make a game out of it. If it's a struggle like cleaning, who wants to clean? So you put some music on, or I should say, I put some music on. And I say, okay, I'm going to clean for 3 songs, and then I can be done. And little by little, you do that every day. You just make it a habit. You do it every day, and you can smash it out of the park. And pretty soon, oh hey, my house is clean. You know, One of the things that I have problems dealing with is scary mail. Bills that come in. Even just my bank reports, things like that. I just it just becomes a stack of mail, and I don't want to deal with it. So what do? I go, okay, I'm gonna call my mom, and we're gonna talk, and I'm just gonna open it. I don't have to look at it. I'm just gonna open it, and I'm gonna put it in 2 different piles. Things I need to deal with, things I don't have to deal with, and then pretty soon, little by little, I get through that stack of mail. And then, if it's things that I need to address, then on another day when it's not so scary, or if it's still scary, call my mother again, and I'll deal with, 3 pieces of mail. Cut it down into little chunk sized bites where you can handle it. And that will, get us out of this overwhelming, because things can get really overwhelming fast. So just break it up into smaller pieces, and then that will lead you to victory. Get out of the idea that, I can't handle it. You can handle it. We can handle a lot more than we realize. And if it's too anxiety driven, break it down into smaller parts until it's not. So, excuse me, my nose is running. I'll be right back. So Wednesdays are my prayer days. I have a woman, my sister in Jesus, Karen. She and I pray on Wednesdays for half an hour, and we got really teary eyed when we were praying today. So my nose is still kind of dripping. But so, what are some of the things that you guys have trouble dealing with? If you don't want to share it here, I completely understand. Feel free to DM me with if there's something you want help that you feel like you're struggling dealing with, and I can bring it up anonymously. But if you're willing to put it out here, you know, something that gives you, you know, anguish, something that you would like to work on, that you feel that is a difficult point for you. And I am going to take smoke in the meantime. I didn't realize that this topic was going to be so hard for me. Um, you know, for a long time there, uh, I did feel like, there was nothing that was in my control. Um, I was in too much pain. I couldn't go out. I couldn't make friends. I was extremely lonely. Um, and I didn't feel like I was fit for human consumption, because I was so depressed and angry and anxious about everything. The world was way too big for me. And you know, if you had asked me a few months ago, even, um, you know, how I felt about life, I would have told you, it was not good. But now, completely different. Um, I'm stronger in my church community because I started going to prayer meetings and stuff like that. And I have people who are happy to see me, which is it's something I didn't have in my life. I really just had my relationship with my mom, and that was it. But my I've been spending time with my neighbors. My neighbor Mary Lou has Alzheimer's, and I walk the dogs with her. And I told her, she sometimes gets lost on her walks, which she has one of those little Apple watches that gives a Wi-Fi that tells her or tells her son and his wife where she is, but she doesn't remember to use it to say, "Hey, I'm lost." So I told her that if she didn't come and get me for her walks, I would feel very put out. So now she comes every day and we walk together, and it's a wonderful time. And she doesn't get lost anymore. So I feel like I'm doing a great service. So Lawrence says, uh, I have trouble doing any physical exercise. Just thinking about it gives me anxiety, like it's pointless and despairing. My 10-year accident is to blame for that. Well, uh, here's the thing, it doesn't have to be. Let me put that back up. Even though it covers my face, I have to come up above it. Don't think of it as physical exercise. Go out and have fun. Make it something fun and make it something that is enjoyable. I know, with our talks, Lawrence and I have talked on the phone. I know that you like looking at beautiful landscapes. So, maybe just if take your phone with you, go on a walk, and capture some landscape that you want to then put into your artwork. Make it an art outing, not an exercise outing. Change the name. Do anything, any sort of mind trick that you can do to make the anxiety go away. And some exercises are you can do in bed. Just lifting your leg and holding it up for as long as you can. Count to 30 and then drop it. And it doesn't have to be like high off the bed or anything like that. You can just do, 5 inches off the bed, 6 inches off the bed. Hold it there for a count of 30, let it drop. Do the other leg. Do that, 20 times. Do your arms the same way. Just lift them up and hold them there. Or even if you have like a milk jug that you can fill with water, just sit there. I mean, you don't have to be standing or anything like that. Just lift it up 20 times, one arm. Do it with the other arm 20 times. And you'll be amazed how quickly you strengthen up. That was one of the things that I used to do was I had to carry water to water my plants. Make it something that if that there will be constant, like a plant. I had to water the plant or the plant would die. I didn't want the plant to die. It made me feel awful. So I would carry, a gallon of water in each hand to go water the plants and just do that every day. And you'll be absolutely surprised with how quickly you can get better. Just a little bit every day. The idea is to stay persistent with it. Keep it up as long as you can go, every day, and reward yourself afterwards. Find some way, something that you can use as a reward to say, hey, I did it. Here's my reward. Not eating, especially if you're trying to do exercise, that's usually counterproductive. but say, hey, I'll play, I'll get to play a half an hour on my game after I've done my exercises. I'll be able to do an hour of this after I've done my exercises, and gamify it, that way that you have a task and a reward, and see if that works. So Lawrence says, I can clean and decorate, but weightlifting and taking walks feels empty and pointless to me. So fill it up with something, taking the walk, find a destination. I'm going to go to this park because I like this park. I'm going to go to this new place, because I want to take pictures, and do that. Give yourself a destination, a goal, a reward, something like that. Sometimes it will feel empty, but do it anyway. And you'll find that when we do difficult things that feel pointless and empty, it may just be that we need to wait for the reward further down the line. We just need to stick with it. Mark it off on your calendar to show yourself, this is how many times I've done this. This is how many times I've been able to accomplish this. And fill it up, have that be your reward. Hey, I've done this for a week. I get to treat myself with this, something like that. So, yeah, Samantha P says it can even be something small. You don't have to go crazy. Just start a little bit at a time and keep up with it. So that's great advice, Samantha. Thank you very much. Logic Rex said, I just had shoulder surgery. Any ideas to pass the time or ideas to how to deal with the pain? Ooh, distractions. That's the number one thing that I found for me that works for pain is distractions. If I have a simple game app or something like that, that can get me through the pain. Something else to concentrate on. Sometimes I have to have news going at the same time, because that's one of the things that I like to get into is news and politics. So I just find the next YouTuber to watch, and I'll sit there and I'll play the game and I'll be listening to the politics and everything like that. Just as many distractions that I can have going at the same time, and that can get me through the minutes. So I hope that helps. Survival Never Goes Out of Style says, my problem is being on social media while I'm at work. Ooh, that's a tough one, especially if work is boring. But I can understand that. That's a problem for a lot of people. I know that when I was working, a lot of times, I'd spend more time on Facebook than I did on work. And again, the reward system, say, okay, I'm going to not be on social media for this long, and figure out what your sweet spot is. How much time can you spend off of social media before you get that sort of craving going on? And you say, okay, I'm going to not be on social media for this long. And then the next day, stretch it out a minute. And the next day, stretch it out a minute. And find, how long you can go. And just, make it a challenge to yourself. And reward yourself afterwards. I haven't been on social media for this long, and so now I get to be on it for this long, and just try and find a balance there where, you feel good about being at work and being present at work, but you also get that little kick afterwards, Figure out where your sweet spot is, stretch it out a little bit more each time. And it may be that you can only stretch it out a minute per week, figure out, where you fall short and just push yourself a little bit more every time. Like, lifting weights in the gym, you add a little bit more weight every single time. So just stretch it out a little more each time. And then you'll find that you can go 4 hours. And that you're only doing it on your lunch break and then after work, and then you're set. So Samantha says, back to the corner with you then, Survival. So Logic says, yes, distractions sound good. Thank you. You're very welcome. And see if you can make it constructive distractions. Like anything that really captures your attention. Like if you do artwork, they talk about there's this thing called flow where the world disappears and it's just you and what you're doing. And everything else kind of disappears. And even pain can disappear at that point. If it's something you can get really, really, mentally into. And yeah, that'll help make the pain go away, or at least recede to the background. So, all right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and personal responsibility is something that's, you know, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to say, I'm the one screwing this up. There's nobody else to blame. There's nothing else to blame. It's me. And owning up to that can feel disheartening. This is my fault. You have to have a lot of moral courage sometimes to face that kind of stuff. It's not what my partner is doing, it's what I'm doing. And I need to look at my side of the street, and I need to make sure that my side of the street is clean. I know I need to take responsibility for my actions. I need to take responsibility for my feelings. Nobody else can make me feel any sort of way. I have command over my feelings. We all do. And usually what it is that we haven't been taught how to detach. That's a good one. That's a good one. Detachment. So this is a concept, that they teach a lot in meditation classes and things like that. Learning how to look at a situation, anything that's going on around me, and say, this has nothing to do with me. There was a point at which I was practicing detachment as a result of my Al-Anon training, where my mother could be screaming at me full on in the face. And we even had a situation. I was sitting on the bed. She was hanging up clothes and she was yelling at me. And at one point, and I was just sitting there calmly, letting her yell, and I was repeating to myself, that this is not me. This has nothing to do with me. And she said, I'm so angry at you right now, I could throw up. And just in a calm voice, I said, okay, Mom, and what's really going wrong? Because I knew I hadn't done anything. I was just sitting there calmly. There was no reason for her to be that upset at me. I hadn't screwed anything up. I hadn't, broken anything, nothing like that. So there was something going on with her. And when I said that to her, when I said, okay, Mom, what's really going wrong? She burst into tears. And she said, my Aunt Virginia's dying. And that's why she was really upset. She was upset. She didn't know how to handle it. So yelling and screaming made her feel powerful and in control, because anger does that. Anger, makes us feel strong. So a lot of people, that's their go-to emotion when things are going foobar. And when I disarmed her anger, when I didn't give her, when it didn't become a shouting match, then she was able to say, no, what I'm really upset about is that my Aunt G is dying. So, let me find this. I'm going to find this thing. Gary's in the house. Samantha says, it should give you hope that you are wrong because, like Gary said earlier, I hope it's my fault. And if it's not, then it's outside of my control. Absolutely. Yeah. If it's our fault, we can do something about it. If it's not our fault, we have to detach. So, What can't you do, Gary? Let me find this thing on detachment and tell me what you can't do, because you may be able to. You don't know. Um, where did my phone go? It fell down here. And I may not be able to find this, but it's a story on detachment. And if I can't find it, I will bring it up next time. Don't lunge at the gerbil. Melody Beatty. If you guys don't know Melody Beatty, oh, I don't know how to do that. Gotcha. Okay, so let me see if I can bring this up. Yep, there it is. I love Google. All right, so let me tell you this story on detachment. One day, my son brought a gerbil home to live with us. We put it in a cage. Sometime later, the gerbil escaped. For the next 6 months, the animal ran frightened and wild through the house. So did we, chasing it. There it is! Get it! We'd scream each time someone spotted the gerbil. I or my son would throw down whatever we were working on, race across the house, and lunge at the animal, hoping to catch it. I worried about it, even when I didn't see it. This isn't right, I'd think. I can't have a gerbil running in the house. We've got to catch it. We've got to do something. A small animal, the size of the mouse, had the entire house in a tizzy. One day, when I was sitting in the living room, I watched the animal scurry across the hallway. In a frenzy, I started to lunge at it, as I usually did, and then I stopped myself. No, I said, I'm all done. If that animal wants to live in the nooks and crannies of this house, I'm going to let it. I'm done worrying about it. I'm done chasing it. It's an irregular circumstance, but that's just the way it's going to have to be. I let the gerbil run past without reacting. I was slightly uncomfortable with my new reaction, not reacting, but I stuck to it anyway. I got more comfortable with my new reaction, not reacting, and before long I became downright peaceful with the situation. I had stopped fighting the gerbil, and one afternoon, only weeks after I had started practicing my new attitude, the gerbil ran past me as it had so many times before. And I barely glanced at it. The animal stopped in its tracks, turned around, and looked at me. I started to lunge at it. It started to run away. I stopped. I relaxed. Fine, I said. Do what you want. And I meant it. 1 hour later, the gerbil came and stood by me and waited. I gently picked it up and placed it in its cage, where it has lived happily ever since. The moral of the story? Don't lunge at the gerbil. It's already frightened, and chasing him just scares him more and makes us crazy. Detachment works. Today, I will be comfortable with my new reaction, not reacting. I will feel at peace. So that's what detachment is. It's saying, okay, it's an unusual circumstance, so be it. I won't react. So Samantha P says, that happens to a hamster of mine, and we eventually found it run over in the road. Oh my gosh. Oh no, that's horrible. Aw, poor gerbil. So Gary Lamb has put up a bunch of thinking emojis. Gary loves his emojis. I love that he loves his emojis. So survival never goes out of style. So that was a great example. Yeah, it's hard. It's something we have to practice. I'm not going to react. I'm just going to let it happen. Let it be whatever it is. Crazy though it may be. Unusual though it may be. I'm just going to detach. I'm going to let it go. and let it be what it is, not react. So, read Sam's message again. Did I misread that? That happened to a hamster of mine, and we eventually found it ran over in the road. Did I misread that? Why am I reading that again, Gary? Okay. Gary says, my bad, Pam. I'm very self-absorbed right now. That's okay. That's okay. I understand that you got a lot on your mind right now. So, but yeah, if we want to get away, we can't change other people. We often can't change situations that we're in. Me dealing with a lot of pain, that sort of thing. Right now I'm standing to do all of these vlogs, and it causes my feet a lot of pain. But me talking to you, it helps distract me from that. And my feet actually don't hurt that much while I'm doing this. So Gary says, no, you didn't. That's my fear of detachment. Okay. So you fear, instead of the gerbil coming up, that it's going to end up, run over in the road. I get that now. All right. So what I can say is, sometimes it's not always a happy ending. Sometimes when we detach, the gerbil does end up run over in the road. But the thing is that, are we going to let it drive us crazy? Are we going to let the situation destroy our peace of mind and our calm and stuff like that? Because we do have to take care of ourselves. Our responsibility is first and foremost to ourselves. We can't save somebody who's drowning if we're drowning ourselves. It just doesn't work. So I would say, sometimes it doesn't work out. Most of the time it does. Most of the time it does work out. As I said, I don't know if you were here for that example, but my mother screaming in my face. When I was able to detach from whatever emotional thing that she had going on, I was able to get to the bottom of it. It's, do we let other people dictate how we're going to feel? That gives them full control over us. Do I want this other person to have full control? And I need to take responsibility for my feelings. I need to take responsibility for my actions. I need to not add to the situation. I need to do what will give me success. So, that's a good question, Survival. Gary, what are these emotions? Can you fill us in? And if you haven't tried detachment before, give it a shot. Samantha says, sorry, I thought it was funny. We heard it scratching around in the heat ducts all the time. Yeah. It's okay, Sam. It's okay. Sometimes, animals have a mind of their own. And they will. I lost a ferret that way, scratching at the door in the middle of the night, and it got out. We never saw it again. And I'm pretty sure it was picked off by coyotes. And my husband was very upset, because I spent days and days and days searching for that little ferret. And he felt so bad because he didn't wake up in the middle of the night and see what the ferret was scratching about. So, Gary says, I just left the liquor store and I chose not to buy anything. Probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. Um, so, yeah, personal responsibility is what gets us to victory. Um, it's one of those things where it's the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. What's me, what's not me. And Gary, you might want to say that prayer before you go home. You know, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. What can you change? What can you not change? And, asking God for the wisdom to be able to know the difference between those two. So, Lawrence says, I remember 10 years ago our cat vanished. My mother, father, and I searched all over it for days. I finally accepted he was gone, and we got a new cat right away, the one I have now. There you go. There you go. Oh, I miss my kitties. I love my doggies, but I miss my kitties. I'm almost thinking of getting a kitty that's good with dogs because I kind of miss having a cat. Having something that purrs is really, really nice. But it may create too much havoc in this house. I don't know if it would be more than I'm able to take care of right now. So I've pretty much put the pause on that. And, bad pun. But yeah, eventually I will get another cat. So Logic says, Pam, I have trouble focusing when I try to read my book. I've been stuck on chapter 8 for months on 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Any advice on how not to let random bad memories throw me off? Ooh, yeah, that's a tough one. I often get random bad memories that throw me off, and the one for that is to say, I just wanted to, maybe move on to chapter 9. Just let chapter 8 sit for now. But in order to deal with random bad memories, one of the things that I like to do is, and this is a practice from my EMDR therapy. If anybody knows about EMDR, it's the abbreviation is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. So what you do is you have a conversation with yourself at whatever age that bad memory happened. And you tell them, look, I am you all grown up. We made it past that. The situation that you went through that was so horrible, it's not here. It's not now. You can rest. You don't have to bring these bad memories up because I'm older and wiser now. We got through it. And going forward, I will make different decisions so that bad thing doesn't happen again. So that's one way. And forgiveness. I mean, just forgiving yourself for whatever it is. If it was something that, was your fault. For me, it was something that was my fault. But if it's a bad memory of a situation that you were in, just tell yourself that situation is past. I'm not in that situation anymore. And I'm in a safe place now. And it's okay. It's okay that bad thing happened. We got through it. I'm here now. And going forward, I'll make sure not to get in that situation again. I'll make sure that bad thing doesn't happen again. It'll be all right. So that's what I would suggest for that. Samantha says, wow, I can get through 10 times what I could before. I'd always get sidetracked while reading physical books. Yeah, reading can be tough sometimes, especially if it's, revealing deep and dark memories. So let's see. Lawrence says, I've experienced so many losses in my life, lost many good people. I have kind of gotten used to it as the pain does not last long and it's not as strong as it once was. Exactly. Exactly. There's that thing that says time heals all wounds. Some wounds take longer than others to heal, but the further away we get from the situation, yeah, the better we do. And hopefully we get to the point where we can laugh about it. That's the best thing is if we can learn how to laugh at the awful things that have happened. They say that comedy is tragedy plus time. So Shaman says, the past is the wake from the boat, but it doesn't propel it. That is awesome. I love that. Look to what's going forward. Um, you know, Logic says, I love that idea. Thank you. You're very welcome. Whether that was me or Shaman, both great ideas. So yeah, thank you both. Oh yeah, I read that right. Okay. I read typo. Don't worry about correcting typos. I can read typo. So we've got about 15 minutes left, a little more than 15 minutes. Does anybody else have something that they'd like to bring up? Any sort of hard situation. We're trying to get out of the state of being a victim and into the state of victory. So anything that you're struggling with. Yeah. Take a little smoke. Gary, I'm almost done with these. I think this is my last cigarette, and I ordered my fruit flavored nicotine gum today. So this should be the last of my tobacco use. And I'm not going to buy another pack, even though I'm, oh my goodness. No, I'm smoking my last cigarette. No, there's one more. Whew. One more cigarette left. And then that's it. We're going to go to the gum and I'm going to finally quit smoking. That's one of the things. And yeah, I need to figure out a reward for myself. I might buy myself a game. That's what I might do. Is I might buy myself a game to reward myself for quitting smoking. So, and yeah, Shaman is living up to his name. Lawrence says, very good, Shaman, you live up to your name. So, all right. Oh my goodness. Oh, and if you want, there's a really good book, The Language of Letting Go, by Melody Beattie, and that's Meldoy, something like that. But then it's Beattie, Beattie. And the way I remember the spelling is that, all the letters are single in the first name, and then there's double letters in the second name. So Melody, yeah, Beattie, Beattie. So The Language of Letting Go. And it has daily things to read through. You pick a day, whatever day it happens to be, and you can read that in the morning, and it can help you get through, the rest of your day, or read it at night before you go to bed. Carrie says, thank you for keeping your word. Of course. Of course. I want to, not only for me, but, to you, I want to keep my promise, I want to be a woman of integrity. So yeah, absolutely. This is the last of it. So Logic Rex says, last one, you got this 100%. Oh, how did that, my iPad's screwing up tonight. So I hope so. I hope so. You know, I hope I don't, if I do cave and I do go back to cigarettes, I will let you all know, and I will, you know, reprimand myself, but I actually have to leave the house in order to buy cigarettes. So I don't think you can't order them anywhere. You know, you can order booze, you can get booze delivered, but you can't get cigarettes delivered. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy it. All right, now we have a little less than 15 minutes. Ah. Yeah, and the other thing is if you can have other people like Gary, um, you know, to hold me to my word. You know, Gary's somebody that I admire, and I want to keep my promises to him. So if you have something that you're struggling with, that you want to keep your promise, you know, not only to yourself, but to, you know, find somebody else that you can say, I want to do this. Hold me to it. Hold me to it, and don't let me slip. And if I do slip, call me on my B. You know, call me on my BS. So Samantha says a quote I like. Good rule for the future: when anything tempts you to feel bitter, not this is misfortune, but to bear it, but to bear this worthily is good fortune. Yeah, we've all got a cross to bear, every one of us, you know, and that's what the that's what we are asked to do, is to pick up our suffering and bear it, you know, and just try and make things better, a little bit at a time. So Lawrence says, well, survival, I feel the same way about being on camera. I hate how I look on it, but I saw you on camera and I think you look great. I was telling Pam the other night, I wish I looked as good as you. Well, Lawrence, looking at your picture, you know, you are a handsome man, so I wouldn't, you know, knock yourself too hard. Logic says, it's my finger. My finger is shaking. Logic says, I had my last one yesterday too. Can fight it together. Absolutely. And it's another thing you can do, is find a partner. You know, Lawrence, if you can find a partner to help exercise with you or take walks with you, something like that, you know, that can fill up the walk. That can make it feel better. That can make it feel less empty. You know, if we've got, you know, Logic, you and I are going to check in with one another and make sure that we're not smoking. So I'm going to hold you to that now that you've said it. Samantha says, we don't have any liquor delivery here. Only time I ever saw it was Illinois. Well, COVID has changed things. So that, you know, like if you have Instacart, you might find that there's liquor delivery on there. Let's see. Survival says, wow, Lawrence, thank you for the great compliment. So, and Samantha says, yeah, accountability partners. That's the way to go. You have accountability partners. So, Lawrence says, I know how hard it is. I used to smoke, but switched to vaping. I can't vape. It makes my asthma terrible, and it gives me horrible migraines. And I've tried different flavors from different companies and different sources and things like that. And no, it's whatever is in the vape juice. It messes with my lungs. And so I'm going to try the gum instead and see if that works. So it'll be my first time trying the gum. So wish me luck. Oh, goodness. Ooh, 10 minutes left. Any burning desires? Anything in the group? Samantha says, oh, the more you know. The more you know. Remember those rainbows? So yeah, check on Instacart. It might be up there. All right, it says my prayers are with you and I believe in you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, I think I believe in me. I'm not so sure, but I'm going to give it the old college try. So Samantha says, yeah, I feel like I'm sucking on a humidity machine. That's exactly it. And they found that they were doing this asthma study, and they had like all these various noxious things, and they had to have something as a control, something that, wouldn't upset the lungs at all, compared to what they were experimenting with. And so they tried using cold water, and they found out that the cold water was actually the biggest trigger compared to all the other pollutants. So cold water is a horrible trigger for asthma. So, places like the Pacific Northwest, bad place to live if you have asthma. Out here in Colorado where it's dry, much better for asthma. So, Logic says, I've been vaping for 7 years, but have some moments of weakness. And Cuomo banned flavors in New York here. Vaping, one of the best decisions I made, but yeah, it doesn't work for everyone. Yep. Oh my goodness. Whew. Feet hurts. Feet hurts. Oh, I'll put one of my feet up now. So, I'm sorry. Pam, you skipped over a statement I had earlier about being on camera. But yeah, I've been inspired by Gary Lamb, Fetters, and you to make my first appearance last week. Did I miss it? Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to go back and watch it. Yeah, dude, you can totally be on camera. You're people worry about how they look on camera, and most of the time we're our harshest critics. Like, I'm worried about this double chin and this fat I have back here, and when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, oh girl, you need to lose about 20 pounds. You better get on that. But I know that you guys don't see it at all, and that you never would have noticed it unless I pointed it out. I mean, like, these scars on my chin, I can't do anything about. I could do the whole makeup thing, but makeup just no, I can't stand having it on my skin. So hey, they're MRSA scars. What am I going to do? But I know that you guys don't really notice these things unless I point them out. You think, oh, that's just a shadow, whatever. You look fine. But we're our own harshest critics, and so I wouldn't worry about it, and go forward with it, because yeah, you're a good looking guy, Survival. You can do this. So Samantha says, Samantha says that she's petrified. Um, Mewing helped a lot with your double chin. What is that? I have never heard of that before, and it's free. Huh. You're going to have to fill me in on what that is, because, yeah, too much fat down here. But I know that when I lose the weight, the double chin goes away. So, um, Lauren says, when I do go on camera, I always tell people that I look better than that in person. Yep. The camera can be horrible as far as pointing out everything. Logic Rex says, hell yeah, Survival, go for it. You did great on Hood's member chat. Oh, right on. Or the were you talking about the chat that you did with me? Yeah, absolutely. You guys are amazing. So oh, thank you, Samantha P. Pam is beautiful inside and out. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Oh my gosh. I mean, one of the things that I absolutely hate is, see that hooded, that thing right there. And when I'm really sick, my eyes can swell up and it looks just terrible. But that sort of hooded lid, I don't know what to do with except for plastic surgery. So I've got to learn to live with that one. So, but yeah, it's these little flaws that get us, where we hate them and we think they're so terrible, and everybody else doesn't think a second thing about it. So Oh no, I think I missed it. Lawrence, I did you see my camera comment about what I said about you on camera? Let me look for it. Oh, there it is. Well, I think you're very beautiful, Pam. You look like a high priestess that everybody comes to for wisdom. Bless your heart. Oh my goodness. Ah, yeah. Survival says, Lawrence, I saw it and you're spot on, man. Oh my gosh, you guys, you're making me blush. Look at this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that's not even mentioning my teeth. That's not, I'm not, when I get my studs in for my implants, I'll show you what's going on with my teeth, but those are a nightmare. I'm slowly uh, getting that taken care of with my dentist. So Samantha says, face yoga and mewing. I've been able to change a few things I was a little unhappy with. Well, awesome. I will check that out. Face yoga and mewing. All right. So Survival says, I was blown away about the commie clubs. Oh, shoot. We're not going to go there. So Gary says, I hate my loose skin. What loose skin? What are you talking about? Dude, you are an Adonis, you know? You got those guns going on. You got that, I mean, just, and love it at the same time. So I have no idea what you're talking about. You'll have to point it out on your next live because no, as I said, man, as far as I'm concerned, you're an Adonis. So yeah, Lawrence, same thing. What loose skin? You are flawless. Yep. So Praying Mantis says you're beautiful, Pam. Thank you, Praying Mantis. Glad you're here. So yeah, that I also told Pam I wished I looked as good as Gary as well. So Gary, I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody in the chat knows what you're talking about. So you'll have to do a reveal for us next time. But oh, your stomach. Oh, well, you know the exercises to tighten that up, right? Oh, you were on your phone praying. I gotcha. Well, you were listening though, so that counts. Yeah, you're a good looking dude. I could never compete with those photoshopped arms. Oh, there we go. I can't believe kids have commie clubs. What TF is running that and it's taxpayer funded? Yep. Insult to injury. And that's the thing. I mean, these commie clubs, they teach that, you're not responsible for your own wealth, that the government has to take care of you. And it's like, no, no, take care of yourself. Learn some self-responsibility. Get out of that victim mode that somebody else is supposed to come and fix your problems. An entire generation was done a disservice with those participation awards and snowplow parenting, things like that. Yeah, parents that want to just get rid of all obstacles out of kids' way. Obstacles are good for us. Having challenges and things that aren't perfect in our lives is good for us. We are meant to strive and overcome. That's what gives us a feeling of self-worth and of self-value is when we overcome challenges. Um, Hodgick says, I will not comment on Gary's looks as it will go to his head. Yep. And Gary says, Photoshop. Yeah. Send the damn links. What links am I supposed to send, Gary? So, Shaman says, you're very kind and kindness always creates such beauty. And good DNA. But yes, I have known some people who were, bone structure. They should have been beautiful, but their attitude just ruined their looks. You could see it on their face that they had a bad attitude. So I thank you for that, Shaman. I appreciate it. Yeah. Ah, my thumb is going. My hands are shaky tonight. I don't know why. And maybe I switched medications because I'm having dental stuff done soon, and so that may be. But survival says I don't know either. Pam, you got to start doing 2 hours. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. That's why. Yeah, I should start doing 2 hours. So someday Gary will go down in history as the best looking man in the world, and we'll build statues to him for the whole world to admire. Yep, yep. So anyway, well, they're hearing sirens. They're about to howl. So, oh, you're teasing, are you? Oh, damn links for. Okay, here's one. Uh, that's my Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, and yeah, feel free to DM me there. I follow back, all that good stuff. And oh yeah, they're really. You gonna howl? And now the neighbor's dog is going off. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow night. Thank you all for being here. You guys have a great rest of your night, and yeah, next time.